And we're live. All right, we're finally back.
Uh, allergies fucking suck.
Well, I was glad to hear that the problem was your allergies and not like your liver or something.
I know. When I get allergies, I'm gonna get gross here. I get postnasal drip and it makes me vomit because
Uh-huh.
it's going down there. So it's like I was wondering, like, why the hell am I getting sick? And I'm getting these migraines, and I'm like, is my liver? Is it something like that?
But
And
sorry,
sorry, no,
I
go on.
use that as inspiration for the thumbnail. I didn't send it to you just because I didn't want you throwing up on stream. Because it's
No, do it. Show it to me.
okay. Should be. Yeah, I'll send you it over the Discord because I don't know. It is in relation to the subject we're going to talk about. Or let's see, where is it? Like I'm always frustrated by not able to pull this stuff up on the fly. It always takes me a minute. We have to pause the whole stream. There it is.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about? I have no clue.
Oh yeah, I didn't send you the notes.
Send me the notes, and we can pretend I know.
Uh-huh. But this title of the episode is it's related to the. I don't know if you knew about this. There's a Powerpuff Girls live action reboot series or sequel series being developed for I think. Or I thought it was HBO, but it's the CW. So it's like a 10 years or 20 years in the future, and it's a live action Powerpuff Girls, and it's like. I guess it's being written by Diablo Cody, the screenwriter for Juno, that Megan Fox movie, Jennifer's Body.
I know Juno.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm actually now kind of interested.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I know some people are like, oh, can't they do anything good with the Powerpuff Girls? But I don't know. It's for me, it's like I wouldn't say optimistic, but I don't know. I'm interested to see how this thing turns out. At least I know that
I want to see Mojo Jojo.
Yeah, he's just a regular monkey or a guy in a monkey suit.
I hope they do it dead fucking serious, and then he's just like this fucking corny ass like Dr. Zaius costume, but he's still dead serious.
It's like one of the CGI apes from Planet of the Apes. I know that's how they did the. That's how they did the ape professor from Umbrella Academy. So it just made him CGI because PETA is always getting up somebody's ass whenever they put a live action monkey on screen.
Chimpanzees are kind of. They don't do very well with acting. That's how people get faces and limbs torn off. It's for the human safety, Tony.
Yeah, I remember hearing about the Danny DeVito's story about when he was on the set of Batman Returns. He almost has dick bit off by a chimp. He was wearing like a codpiece. So,
God, I love Danny DeVito because I just picture him saying it just like that. I almost got my dick bit off. That's a horrible impression.
Uh-huh.
I almost got my dick bit off by a chimpanzee.
It was Black Danny DeVito.
God.
Who would be Black Danny DeVito? Who's the closest black person to match Danny DeVito?
Kevin Hart in height.
Oh yeah, the joke. But yeah, there's plenty of jokes about Kevin Hart being short. I saw the Gigaboots review of the Curse Content Club podcast where they watch bad movies, and the last one they watched was Cop Out featuring Kevin Hart and Ice Cube. And they said that there's 100 Kevin Hart being short jokes in that movie alone.
You can't milk them. You can't milk them. Mm-hmm. But when done right, they're funny.
Yeah. I was actually just thinking. I was actually just thinking about. I don't know how I got into this train of thought, but I was thinking about Flash Gits, the guys who did Racist Mario.
Yeah.
I think I've talked about them before. They're specifically the Tiger King one that they did. I think that was the most recent one, and it was just
would have to be.
Yeah, it was like a mashup of like Animal Crossing, but what if they were being like mistreated, like Tiger King and Joe Exotic's the guy who owns the island or whatever? And it's basically the most predictable jokes you can imagine in that situation. And I was thinking, like, like whenever like, you take, like popular stuff at the time and like do a mashup of it, that doesn't make instant comedy. I know that everybody wants to be South Park in that regard, but the way that South Park is different is that they like often they'll incorporate some like really obscure actor or movie reference in there to throw you off and catch you by surprise. Like if they were doing the same joke, like Animal Crossing meets Tiger King, then somewhere in the middle of the episode they'd throw in like a reference to, I don't know, Peter Graves writing a letter to Congress or something, just like somebody you somebody who you haven't even thought of in like 20 or 30 years.
Yeah,
So like
that's a really astute point.
yeah,
I call them Google jokes because there's always someone who's gonna Google it.
yeah, or like referencing Xanadu, the 1980s movie with Olivia Newton-John, and so like just doing something really obscure to like throw in there and catch people off guard. But a lot of people don't seem to get that, and I mean it's not just that. There's plenty of other factors, but I just think that references for like, I mean, I don't think I know that references for reference sake are just not very good. Back on Powerpuff Girls, have you ever listened to the album that they put out? Like, it was like a bunch of different artists of the Heroes and Villains album. I remember I got that just like 5 years ago, I think. Like ordered it from Amazon. There's still some really good tracks on there.
I have not heard of their album though.
Yeah, well, I mean, like some of the songs were on the Cartoon Network bumpers, like the Apples in Stereo, Signal in the Sky. That's a classic. It's also Shonen Knife, the Buttercup Supergirl one, but also Devo. They did the like the main opening track. That was on like a bumper too. But they're probably like the biggest name on that album. Yeah, there's just a ton of good music on there. It's not even like I mean, yeah, it goes past the point of being, a novelty album and goes straight on to being like actually good music. So I'd recommend you check it out. I mean, there's probably a Spotify playlist. Maybe those songs are on Spotify. I'm sure that a couple of them are. But yeah,
I was thinking about something when it comes to like, have you ever noticed that, or have you ever like been listening? I use YouTube for music because I'm a fucking celeb. Not YouTube music. I just use YouTube videos with ad block on.
Uh-huh.
But you ever like get like a really weird recommendation and you fall down a rabbit hole?
Yeah.
You ever hear of A Clown by Charles Mingus?
I'm familiar. I know that name. I'm not familiar with the song.
Imagine basically a really fucking depressing story told by the narrator of A Christmas Story about a clown being tragically killed, and it's the only time people really laughed at him. But to jazz.
Yeah.
It's a weird mix and kind of works.
Oh, I know where I know the name from. It's because Radiohead, when they were doing Kid A, then that was one of their influences. I remember reading that on Wikipedia, so that's where I know his name from. Yeah, back on Powerpuff Girls, because that like in the announcement of the live action series is just making me go down memory lane. Of course, back to our old friend Bleed Man, because I know that yeah, the like one of the figures that will never leave the subject of our podcast. But when people are saying, everybody always seems to, try to put a dark spin to Powerpuff Girls, and that made me think of Bleed Man.
Aren't they always kind of dark in a way?
Well, yeah, I know that. I can't remember who said this. One of the guys I follow on Twitter, one of the artists I follow, he was saying how there are some like parts of Powerpuff Girls, the world, that were, if you think about it, then it comes across as almost like Paul Verhoeven levels of satire, where it's like, the police are useless. You have to, like, count on these. It's sort of like, you think about the way the government works in Townsville. It does come across as like deeply satirical. I can't really think of any.
There was that episode with the glue that really fucked me over as a kid.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that episode.
Yeah. And that sort of takes me to the idea I had for a fan comic, where I don't know if I've gone into detail about this idea I had for the fan comic, where it's like you have it's focused on the secondary characters as they're growing up, and one of them would have been the glue kid, but he's like has such a mastery over his abilities at that point that he's almost invincible. You have like because I think that a lot of characters that were in you just sent me a picture of Archie Bunker hanging himself.
That was meant for a friend I was talking to earlier.
Okay. Yeah, I figured.
My friend is collecting. I'm sorry. That came across so wrong. Hold on, I have to explain to the audience. I have a friend and me who have bonded over Archie Bunker. We're playing D&D, and I had a joke that I'm going to commission someone to make a wizard based on Archie Bunker. I am so fucking sorry, man. But I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Well, if you do that, you got to make his companion is a wizard based on Al Bundy.
Oh God, I was thinking that, or maybe even like having like his nemesis being a witch based on Maud. They crossed over a few times.
Oh yeah.
Did you know that?
I mean, I know that a lot of sitcoms around that era did a lot of crossover episodes. I remember Everybody Loves Raymond did a couple crossovers with King of Queens.
Oh God,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they took place in the same universe.
Oh wait, no. When you said Everyone Loves Raymond, my mind went to Everyone Hates Urkel.
I mean, Everybody Hates Chris?
Oh, Everyone Hates Chris.
Yeah.
God! What the fuck is going on in my head today? Yeah, I'm still suffering from allergies. I'm no longer as congested, but I get allergy headaches.
Mm-hmm.
So my mind is currently going like, if there's a guy who flips switches, not all the switches are lighting up. God.
What was I talking about? So yeah, the Powerpuff Girls fan comic that I had in mind. I might okay. Like, I don't know. I don't want. For a while, I was planning on just not mentioning it at all, so that when I eventually made it, then I would be able to like, distance myself from it, not to have anybody being like, "Oh, this is the fan comic guy." But I don't know. It's
That's
just one
actually not a bad thing.
Yeah, like do it under a different name.
Is how Matt Frank got tied to Toho. And he's like one of their big artists.
Mm-hmm.
For Godzilla, of course.
Yeah, it would be cool if. I mean, I think that the only thing I have to show for this is some sketches here and there, but yeah, and I think I've like talked before about how it's frustrating to like talk about all these ideas I have and then just never follow up on them. So yeah, I'm trying to limit, like as always, I always try to limit how much I talk about these ideas. And it's like there's a certain point where you have to be like, okay, I have to do it now, and then just put it off. I don't know if you saw that image that I posted to the Discord, the Monkey Bar Discord, of because I was attempting pixel art, and that was actually sort of getting me out of this funk that I've been in. It's been a nice change of pace, and I don't know. Do you see it?
To make sure that
it should be in the writers tab.
Writers tab up.
Mm-hmm.
Here. Oh God, fucking moth. Oh God, that's actually really nice.
Yeah, thanks.
I like the animation.
Yeah, I had
I
that.
if I always thought, sorry.
Sorry.
I always thought a pixel art comic would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, like the first thing I think of on that subject is the sprite comics that were popular in like the early 2000s. But it would be neat to see, a comic, and I'm sure that it's already been done or at least attempted. Is like a comic featuring like really good pixel art. Is I see that a lot on. I see that occasionally on Twitter. Is the new like whenever somebody does like pixel art that looks like actual art. You know what I mean? Where it's like really detailed.
Yeah,
So yeah,
Berserk is pixel art.
yeah. Or you can even argue some parts of Homestuck go that route. I mean, there are parts of Homestuck that are just straight up, mini games or video games incorporated into it. But yeah, it would be neat to see like a interactive webcomic. I don't know. Whenever I think of like interactive webcomics or animated webcomics, I always like wonder what the line between comic and video game is, like how blurred it is between those lines between a motion comic or a full animation, and I don't know. It is a perplexing topic, and to some degree. Um,
I think that if I ever did do a pixel art thing, I would like to make it sort of styled after like all the text boxes would look like RPG menus and shit like that. But like I would like to make the art somewhat dynamic and animated.
mhm. I mean, I would like to make like eventually sometime, and talking about ideas again. Shame on me, but I would like to make I would like to make my own video game someday, or at least
I,
have the money to like pay for a team to help me with that. Because that's sort of what sprung off from doing this pixel art was, oh yeah, it would be neat to, because I had like the idea of a story for a video game, but then I'm thinking about it and I'm thinking about it, and it's like, wow, this is actually going to be a really big project that's going to cost a lot of money. And then it's like, oh well, is there anything smaller I can come up with? And it's like, okay, here's a smaller idea, but then I add onto that idea, and then add onto it, and add onto it, and it becomes a lot bigger than I thought it would be, and rinse repeat. I think that's why and then now I'm back on the comics because that's something that I can fairly easily do on my own, or at least easier compared to say video games. But I don't know. I think it's good to change gears once in a while, like reassess your perspective, all that stuff.
I decided I want to make the Walmart's thing from a comic maybe more into a video game. Make it like an RPG like Final Fantasy.
Hmm.
An eldritch horror JRPG kind of deal.
Hmm.
Fit sorry.
Yeah. Like when you see it like turn-based RPG.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking about that if I wanted to do a video game, like the idea I had originally, the first idea that ended up becoming the big one was doing just something in RPG Maker. I pulled up RPG Maker MV again, but it's such a, I don't know, like everybody says that, or from what I've heard, I don't know if everybody says this, but saying like how RPG Maker is really accessible and anybody can do it. The thing is, like anybody can do it, but much like something like Unity, it's like not everybody can do like really good looking or good feeling stuff in this particular software. Like a lot of the base stuff is inherently cheap, but I don't know. I was actually gonna check out Unity to see if I can do something in that instead. The idea I had was going to be like a turn-based RPG, but then I realized that I kind of hate turn-based RPGs. I don't hate them, but I would rather be playing, a different, like something in real time. Like I prefer. That's why I got into Kingdom Hearts. Was that the real-time combat? Just to me, I just gravitated towards it's way easier than like Final Fantasy X or like any like turn-based RPG. So the idea I had would be like a RPG, but like it has like a side-scrolling beat 'em up combat system, That I think that would be more enjoyable to play for me, at least. I think about stuff that I would rather be playing rather than turn based. But yeah, that's like I don't know. That's a little bit too complicated for me to figure out right now. So I thought doing a regular. I don't know. I didn't get much sleep last night, so we're both kind of out of it today, I guess.
Yeah. I was thinking, I want to focus on a plot first. I had kind of an interesting idea for like what the meta plot would be.
Mm-hmm.
That there's two giant eldritch horrors that are kind of deciding who takes Earth. One is an eldritch horror made by mankind. One is one that predates mankind,
Mm-hmm.
and it's basically they're deciding who gets the cut of Earth. And it's my fucking Walmart from hell, so it's kind of a comedy. So I plan the final joke thing being is that they end up deciding, oh fuck, we'll just take Idaho. Who the fuck cares about Idaho? Or Arkansas.
Yeah. Yeah, but like talking about side-scrolling beat-em-ups, one of my inspirations, and in fact, I was actually downloading a couple of sprite sheets off of, I guess it's I can't remember the name of the website, but you look up sprite sheets, it'll probably be the first thing to come up. Was Scott Pilgrim versus the World video game. Like, you don't really realize like how much detail goes into even like simple like sprite work until like you zoom in like pixel by pixel. And yeah, Paul Robertson did the sprite work for Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and like he's like brilliant when it comes to pixel art. I hope that someday that game like gets re-released. Apparently, Ubisoft's been contacting Brian Lee O'Malley and Edgar Wright. I guess they've been talking on or negotiating like how to about the game. I don't know about releasing it or whatever, but I guess they're talking about the contracts. I don't know if that's. I don't know if I want to be throwing out words like that because nothing official yet, but they just said they were in talks. I hope that it gets released. It is a good. That game is a good argument against digital, though, or at least it's more in favor of physical games, because if any game can be just taken off of the market at any time due to like licensing or contracts or whatever, then it definitely pays to have like a physical copy.
I feel you there. It's kind of like going extinct as an animal or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm also retarded.
Well, hey now. So am I. To a degree.
God.
I've been watching a lot of, or listening to a lot of Come Town. I don't know if you've heard of those guys.
No.
It's like Nick Mullen, Stavros Halkias, and Adam Friedland. They have there are all these comedians who have this podcast where they basically do what we do. Is they just sit down and shoot the shit and just make up that song. Yeah, like I.
It's me holding the podcast back.
I mean, they've I don't think I've laughed as hard as I have in the last week. Then I've listened to them because I think it was the most recent episode that they put out. Or I think that the most recent one they put out was today. But the one they put out before that, they had one bit where I was just laughing my ass off, and it was like this. I don't know how they got on this, but they were talking about it was subject of calling the hospital, calling an ambulance because your dick is too small. And when I say it like that, it sounds really stupid and unfunny, but they're just going on and on about this, and it's just, to me, it's hilarious. And now that I've explained the joke, it's going to be a lot funnier when you listen to it. Now that I've ruined it,
most certainly. If I watch it, I've been fucking procrastinating like a bitch.
Yeah, I like to pop it open, or any podcast really, when I'm playing Factorio. I'm still playing that occasionally. I can't really get into it, actually. Is that I don't know. I thought that I was going to really enjoy it, but it's like I don't know what it is about these like big games where you can customize everything. Like this in Minecraft, it's like I can only get into them to a certain degree, and I just there's a limit to like how much I'm able to immerse myself in it. Where I don't know what it is, but it's like with Factorio at least, it's like you build to a certain point, and then it's like okay, keep building, but it's like you don't really have much direction on where to go. And I guess that's a metaphor for my life in a way, where it's like, oh, I'm feeling comfortable where I'm at. I think I'm just going to coast from now on. That's just what's held me back from succeeding with arts or comics or whatever. It's just no, I'm all right where I'm at. I don't need to make $1 million today. I'd rather just sit back and play video games, play Factorio, and not progress in that either.
I think what happened is that I've been kind of spiraling into a depressive episode again.
Hey, me too. That's awesome.
God, you know how it is, right?
Yeah.
I had to fucking say it. Like I had to like spiraling is a fun word, isn't it?
Yeah. I think
I don't know why. It's
I like
careening.
yeah.
By the way, I just realized the great clown, the great clown Pagliassi line is from Watchmen.
Yep. Or I think that joke is something that Ellen Moore heard somewhere prior to that, but yeah.
I fucking love that joke so much.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about Alan or Rorschach not too long ago. I was thinking about Mr. A, actually, the Steve Ditko version of it was what Rorschach was based off of, was Steve Ditko's Mr. A comic, which in turn was a comics code free version of The Question. And I was thinking about The Question in relation to comparing Justice League Unlimited to Young Justice, and how I don't know what it is, but I don't know if you've ever seen Young Justice.
I've seen bits of it.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it as much as I could. I mean, I watched like all the seasons that were on Netflix before it got eaten up by the DC streaming service, which may or may not be going under, to my knowledge. I think that actually got eaten up by HBO Max, or it will be sometime in the near future. But anyway, Young Justice, it always struck me as trying to be more mature than trying to earn its maturity, rather than in the Justice League or the DC animated universe, where it just came naturally. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but that's always the vibe I got.
I never saw enough of it to get a feeling of it.
Either or?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I was really, really into Justice League, the DC animated universe, but especially Justice League, and especially Justice League Unlimited. Justice League Unlimited has some of the best moments in any animated series I've ever seen. The Question in that show is one of the best characters I've ever seen in
Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah, in Justice League Unlimited, and a lot of animated series actually. I think the only animated series I can think of that comes close to Justice League Unlimited is probably Avatar: The Last Airbender. I've actually been rewatching that recently on Netflix. And I was actually kind of afraid that it wouldn't hold up, that, it would be because, everybody's been singing Avatar: Last Airbender's praises for years, more than a decade at this point.
I don't think it's completely undeserved praise.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, it still holds up. I was happy to see that, because I'm on episode 10 right now, and
I need to rewatch it, and I'm going to watch it with Cora.
Hmm. I've heard people say like Korra isn't like it's not nearly as good as the original series.
I
Um,
want to see it.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
I
judge for
want to see what
yourself.
the fuss is about. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked watching ER's videos on Legend of Korra. Those were entertaining. I don't know if you're familiar with that guy.
No. By
He's
the
he
way,
did he
I
did
can't believe I'm sorry.
he did a video essay on Steven Universe and on Life is Strange, and
Yeah.
like Life is Strange especially had one of the best quotes I've heard from a writer on writing characters, and it was something along the lines of like he says that he's talking about how the teenage characters are written. And he says like they're actually written like extremely accurately, extreme accurate, and that they're like all art students, and so they're all like written as being very, snooty and spoiled and everything. And he says that like they're realistically written, but that doesn't make them well written characters. And the quote I was leading up to is that he says like traditional narratives and like character writing will defeat realism every time, or something along those lines. And that's really, it puts a lot of things in perspective, because it feels like in the last like decade, most people have been like, oh, realism equals good. The more realistic you write a character, the better they are. And that's really not the case. Like you look
I
at Luke
no,
Skywalker in
no.
Star Wars. Look at Luke
Realistic
Skywalker.
isn't a trail of good. It
Right.
has to be how fucking entertaining the character is.
Yeah, or like a plot thread. You can't have everything being subverted all the time. Uh, like
What a
that's
tweet!
yeah, yeah. Um, I don't know how much else I have to say about it other than yeah, he was right on the money with that. It makes me think about how I write my characters and settings and everything. So good on him for that. Uh, but yeah, let's. What else have I been watching? Oh yeah, I watched a bunch of Ghibli movies. I actually have been watching some of them on Netflix because, and the thing is, I have to use a VPN because the Studio Ghibli movies are only available on Netflix in the UK. So I have to, sneak around to good old London or jolly old London to watch the Studio Ghibli movies that I want to watch. The ones I don't own on Blu-ray. But yeah, they're all good. They're all great. So yeah, I'm just gonna go down the list. Porco Rosso. Have you seen that one?
No.
Yeah, it's. I think a lot of people say that it's like Studio Ghibli's or Miyazaki's most underrated movie, or maybe it was until Howl's Moving Castle. But yeah, I watched it with the dub with Michael Keaton voicing the pig guy, and like all the like, I don't know what it is with the Miyazaki movie dubs, but they're always great. They always pick like the best people to dub these movies, and it doesn't
They
seem
have the money to pick the best.
yeah. I can't think of any. Like, there's a very short list of animes that have a dub that's as good or better than the original. And I don't know about better, but Porco Rosso has a really good dub. It also has a really interesting story, where it's like most of the story is like there's a fair chunk of the movie that's dedicated to like just building a plane, and just goes through all of the like the blueprints to like building the wings, hammering in the struts, like and all this stuff in the workshop. And it's just still really fascinating to watch. You'd think that it'd be like, oh, the movie's being put on hold until we can get through this scene or the series of scenes until they're in the air, but no, it's like that they make it really interesting and really fun to watch, like everything in it. I also watched Spirited Away again, but with the subtitled version, the original Japanese language. And I don't know. I think that I actually couldn't really tell a difference between the original and the dub in terms of quality. I think I like the voice of Chihiro, the main character, a bit better in the subtitled version, but that's about it. I think, yeah, like they're both pretty equal. And I think I've said before that I have this weird thing about whether I prefer the subs or dubs, and it depends on like the setting, or like if it's like a Japanese setting, then I prefer the Japanese dub, but if it's like in a more European setting, like Porco Rosso, then I prefer the English dub.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like when I play Street Fighter, I set the character's language to match their ethnicity, like to match their country.
Huh. Even if you could do it for like
Ryu
individual
speaks Japanese.
If you could do it for an
you
individual
could in some of the games.
Oh, really?
You can in some of the games. Yeah. I own like one Street Fighter game. I don't remember which one it is.
Mm-hmm. I also watched Only Yesterday, which I mean that sort of breaks my rule because I watched it with the dub, but it's set in Japan. But it also has interesting thing about Only Yesterday. The dubbed version has the voice actors for like Riku and Namine from Kingdom Hearts. Like those are the leads. So David Gallagher voices the male love interest, and Namine voices, I can't remember her like the voice actress's name, but she voices the main girl protagonist. So that's like the. No, wait, no, that's Whisper of the Heart. I'm thinking. No, sorry, that's a completely different movie. I mean, same studio, but yeah, same studio, but different director and different movie. Only Yesterday is the one that's about like the woman remembering her childhood or whatever. But and Whisper of the Heart is the high school girl like writing a book. I like how my descriptions of these movies sound like the least interesting thing in the world, but
and then when you watch it, you're fucking crying your eyes out.
Yeah.
Have you realized that every picture of Alan Moore makes him look like fucking a cult leader?
Yeah, I mean he does worship a snake god.
I think Alan Moore looks fucking amazing.
Uh-huh.
I kind of want to use his likeness for something. Not his likeness, but you know what I mean, right?
Right. This makes me think about Little Witch Academia. How one of the characters is basically uses the exact likeness of Chum-Li from Pawn Stars, to the point where his character's name is literally Chum-Li, and he runs a pawn shop, in like a magical pawn shop in the town. I was thinking about that because yeah, I was thinking about that because I was on like on my Netflix page.
I thought that was a meme. What the fuck?
Yeah, and the dub he's voiced by.
I apologize.
But yeah, in the dub he's voiced by Joshua Tomar, who's he's a guest on Oni Plays. And yeah, I think I was on his IMDb page, and I realized that I actually didn't know that because I watched that one episode like twice, and I didn't realize that was him. I think he's just one of those guys that he's in everything, but you don't really notice him until somebody points him out to you. But yeah, they cast it like. Thankfully, he's not doing a Chum-Li impression. He's just using his regular "I'm a big fat guy" voice. But because I think that if he did the Chum-Li voice, they probably would have gotten sued. But
my God, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Like, do you think? Like, did you think that the picture was edited or something?
I thought it was fan art.
Yeah.
I thought it was like fan art in a meme.
No, that character
like
is literally in.
No, because this is a picture I saw before. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
This is a picture of it that I saw.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but that's the.
So like,
yeah, this is literally the
hell?
character. The captions obviously don't show
I
up
know.
in the, but yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't unsee. This is fucking. I can't see the show now. I can't. I hate Pawn Stars. I hate Pawn Stars. For some reason, all three of those guys, I would punch them.
See, like I've never
Cool.
seen an episode of Pawn Stars. The only the most exposure I've had to Pawn Stars is the YouTube poop Prawn Stars by The Things One. Is probably one of my favorite YouTube poops.
God, what the fuck? Like now, I just have a mental image of some manga creator or anime dude just being really fucking into Pawn Stars. How? My God. I'm sorry, Tony.
Yeah, a lot of manga artists will do this, where they're familiar with a celebrity or a public figure, and they'll just put them into the manga. Like one notable instance is Grappler Baki, where the guy just puts in like Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump and Barack Obama and like all these, and Muhammad Ali Jr. is a major character in Baki. He competes with the main character's love interest, or like competes for her like affection or whatever. But yeah, like a lot of manga artists will just do that. They'll just take not even the likeness of a person, but they'll just put that person in their manga.
Fuck. And I don't feel bad using Alan Moore now.
I mean, like copyright stuff like that is much different in Japan.
I'm not using Alan Moore, but you know what I mean. Just like bearded dude with sunglasses.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the opening video for Daikon 5, I think? Daikon 4, Daikon 5, where they have like this anime girl in a Playboy bunny costume, like riding a hoverboard past like Darth Vader and like Blade Runner and all this sci-fi stuff from the 80s. That's the reason that I don't think that video has been like legally distributed since like it was made. It was the video that Hideki Anno worked on, I think, before Evangelion.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about now. When you said, as soon as you said wasn't distributed, my brain's like, Ava reference coming up now.
Yeah, let's see. I also watched The Wind Rises, which was supposed to be.
He voiced someone.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Hideki Anno. I mean, I watched the dub of that too. Again, breaking my own rules. So it was actually Joseph Gordon-Levitt voicing the character that Hideki Anno was supposed to voice, the main character.
Does that mean that would be his in real life voice? Is that his in real life voice?
Joseph
Gordon-Levitt? Is that his real life voice?
Probably, yeah.
I'm making a retarded voice or a joke.
Okay.
That would be Hideki Anno's real voice in dub.
Okay. I mean, he wasn't doing like a Boston accent like he did in The Dark Knight Rises.
God.
Oh, that would have been great if there was a part like there's an alternate ending where he's on an airplane.
It would be painful for you.
Yeah.
I just want to picture like, what happens if you make the anime? It will be painful for you.
Perhaps he's wondering why you'd shoot a man before building him a plane.
Perhaps you would wonder why you would.
Yeah. Jokes aside, it's a really great movie. Apparently, the next movie that Hayao Miyazaki is working on is called like How Do You Live? It's based loosely off of a book, and that's basically all there is. Like all the information there is right now on it. Apparently, it's being like they're hoping to have it finished by 2022, so like 2 years from now. But I'm curious to see what it's going to be. It sounds like I keep wanting to say Hideki Anno. No, it's Hayao Miyazaki. I'm curious to see. I mean, I think that it is going to be his last movie because he basically said it's for his grandson. And saying something along the lines of, this grandpa is making you one last film before he goes on to the next world, or something like that. So, yeah, it sounds pretty official. And I also watched Chronicle, just to cleanse my palate from I don't want to feel okay with this, not anymore, whatever it's called, that psychic girl drama Netflix show that we've talked about the last couple episodes. Yeah, I was curious to see if it was going to hold up, because I remember tweeting at Doug TenNapel when he was watching Hancock for the first time, and he was just saying that he hated it, and I'm like, oh, I'll be interested to see what you think of Chronicle and how much you hate that. He's like, I actually like Chronicle, and I'm like, oh, because for some reason I thought that it, like, people in the last couple of years came around and started hating it again, or started hating it or realizing that it was bad or something. But apparently I was wrong. I think I was just like thinking of that because everybody hates Max Landis now, and he wrote the script for Chronicle. But yeah, I went back and rewatched it, and I liked it. I really, really liked how they did psychic powers in that movie, because I don't know, it feels like authentic. Weird. I don't know if that's probably the wrong word to use, but yeah, it's a really. I think that the effects are the best part of it, the realism of it and all that stuff. Other than that, I don't know if I like it that much. I don't know if I'd watch it again anytime soon, but I would like to see more stuff like that. I mean, more. I would like to see a video game like that. Like, and I've said before, I love seeing psychic powers in video games, especially. But yeah.
You know what I would like?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, you go ahead.
You know what? Speaking of video games, what I would like to see get a good remake? Fucking Legend. Do you remember that game? It was the one for like Xbox 360 and PS3, where it's like someone opens Pandora's box and every fucking monster breaks out.
A Legendary. Yeah.
Legendary. I want that game to get a good reboot.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's probably begging for a remake because, well, I mean, I think I mentioned this before, how the last level is, it's impossible to complete, at least on the PC version, because like you like clip through the elevator, and it's like there's no way to fix that.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that would be neat to see remade. I don't know. I do want to mention this before we wrap up.
Yeah.
Going back to news on cartoons, Venture Brothers. Very sad to find out that that's been canceled after 17 years. And man,
how long?
17 years. I mean, they've done 8 seasons or 7 seasons, and they were working on the 8th before Adult Swim decided to pull the plug, and that's really, really disappointing. Man, like everybody's on Twitter has just been, really sad to hear this, and I mean, I find that a lot of people who, I think that this is sort of the beginning of some like I don't know. I was going to go off on a tangent about how a lot of cartoons that are canceled before they get the chance to wrap up properly, they get a lot of fanfare, a lot of cult status. I think about Mission Hill, the Clerks cartoon. They don't really get the recognition at the time. Clone High is another one. And Clone High, they announced a new season or a movie or something or whatever. But yeah, it seems like for me, like Venture Brothers never really got the attention it deserved, or at least in like I've barely heard anything about people like talking about the Venture Brothers in the last 10 years. It's always been one of those sort of underground shows, even though like I guess nerd culture. I hate saying that, but I can't think of any other word to describe it. But as you know, that nerd shit has become more and more mainstream. You would think that the Venture Brothers would as well. It's like the pinnacle of nerd shit, but it never really got the recognition it deserved, in my opinion, at least widespread. So I don't know. It's I'm hoping that they, because I guess Jackson Public, one of the co-creators, they said that they've been talking with Adult Swim on a way to continue this Venture Brothers otherwise. So not a new season, but I'm hoping best case scenario it'll be a movie that wraps it all up, or maybe they'll do it like the Samurai Jack with a video game, because the new video game of Samurai Jack had like an alternate ending, I think, to the 5th season. I don't know much about it, but because I don't want spoilers. But I heard it was really well received. So, but I'm hoping like more for like a movie or like a mini series on, I guess, HBO Max or like a streaming service, like anything to like put a cap on it at least. Because I always hate it when any series has an open ending or like it ends on a cliffhanger, or because I guess. And I haven't gotten to the end of season 7 yet, but I guess season 7 ends on a cliffhanger. I know that I've read the Venture Brothers big book, and they say that every season that they end on, they always count on it being the last. So, but which is weird because every season that they've ended on sort of has a cliffhanger ending. It's never like cut and dry, except for I guess the end of season 5 that. Or like the Gargantua special is probably the closest to a series finale. But I'm hoping at the very least that they end on with a movie or something, definitive. And I guess that's all I want to talk about right now.
Yeah, I'm a bit knocked out. I'm sorry.
That's fine. But yeah, if there's no objections, we're going to wrap it up.
Random thought. Venture Brothers, I always thought they were the reboot and not the parody.
I'm not sure I'm following.
That they were the reboot of the thing that they're a parody of.
Oh, like there was something in the 70s or something?
Yeah, but that they're a parody of the two brothers that they eventually have show up on the show.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Like the Hardy Boys?
Huh. I thought that they were the Hardy Boys for a bit when I first started watching it.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I always liked how, I know I just said we're going to wrap up. I know I have a bad habit of you say something, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to go off on another tangent for like 10 more minutes. But I did want to mention, because it is related to another video game that I'm playing right now, Doom Eternal, finally getting around to playing that. And it sort of has the same, it moves away from the realism in Doom 2016, which I'm a really big fan of. It definitely feels more like Masters of the Universe, because you're basically He-Man killing demons, and you live in Castle Grayskull, and you have a teleporter that you take to battle demons on Earth, and it's just glorious. There's all this lore too that there's like the Knights of Doomslayers or whatever, the Round Table, and all this stuff that isn't really it's completely comes out of thin air. Because it's not mentioned at all in Doom 2016, but I like it anyway. There's journal, some stuff that elaborate on it. It's not like the perfect way to dump lore and all that stuff, but it works. It's not like in the forefront, at least. The forefront is the combat, which is great, but it's related to Venture Brothers in that Venture Brothers has sort of a similar tone where it's like it can be ultra violent, but it also feels like a big, toy box of like not quite. I mean, like nostalgia in a way, but it's like it has that sort of vibe from like 80s cartoons and comics and toy lines and all that stuff. But it's sort of it's not. I think we talked about this with Tim and Mark when we were talking about Common America. How it's not like it's digging up the past, but more pushing it forward. It's taking like stuff that was really cool and awesome in the 80s and just building on that. So yeah, that's sort of the parallel I have with Venture Brothers and Doom. It'd be neat to see like a like a first person shooter of Venture Brothers or something if we're talking about video games.
You know it'd be kind of cool.
Mhm.
You could have it like each character played like a different kind of genre shooter. Like Brock is more like the
Yeah,
what do you call it?
He'd be
He's
the Doom
Doom.
guy. Yeah, and then you'd have like Hank and Dean. It'd be more like thief or like stealth shooter genre.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I think we're ready to wrap up. Are you?
Yeah.
All right.
Good
Well,
episode, man.
yeah, I agree. Until next time, I've been Tony,
I've been Zach.
and this has been the Monkey Bar.